What it is, what it do, cyber world. It's your girl, the one, the only Ash Brown. This is the Ash Said It show. Over 1,800 episodes, 500,000 streams, and hundreds of thousands of downloads. This show is possible because of you guys, because of all your love, all your support, everything that you've continued to shower me with. It has not gone unnoticed. Now, this episode is going to be different probably from any episode I've ever done in the 1,800 plus episodes that I've recorded since 2014. And it's going to be different because we're going to really go into a serious topic that affects everyone. It affects me directly. And if it doesn't affect you directly, it affects someone that you know and love. Talking about abortion. The decision as far as to overturn Roe versus Wade, it comes down to the hours. In the next couple of days, we're going to know what is the Supreme Court's decision on this women's issue. And I could not consciously just mull over this topic because it affects me. It affects so many women that I know, and it affects so many women just across the nation. So today, I've brought upon us birth control and adolescent reproductive expert, the wonderful Dr. Sophia Yen. Hey, Dr. Yen.
Hey, Ash. Thank you so much for having me on here and addressing this really important and so critical issue today.
Yes, thank you so much. When I got the read-up about you and how you were sharing these topics and sharing these tips for women, it was like immediately light bulb went off. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this lady. I've got to get her on the show because I know that these are tips and tools that women need, especially as we wait on this decision. Definitely waiting on this. So going into the top 5 tips that women need to be aware of as far as living in a post Roe versus Wade reality. What would be the first tip that you would put out for women?
Yeah, so one really quick and easy tip is delete your period trackers because they can be subpoenaed in a court of law. Wow. And so if they see that you had a period, your period went away, and then your period came back, if there's anything, if you're in one of the, 21 states, I think, are going to severely restrict abortion. 16 states have trigger laws. As soon as Roe v. Wade is reversed, bam, it's instantly illegal in those 16 states. So that's what a trigger ban is. And so if they see your period went away and they came back and somebody decides to take you to court, they can subpoena or look up your period tracker data, or they can contact the period tracker company and say, we have a subpoena, you have to give us all the data on Sophia Yen's period in relation to this situation. And the difficulty and the horrifying thing is that some district attorneys and other legal people, if they're rabidly anti-abortion, can come after you because they're not clear on the law and stick you in jail, and then you're in jail while they're figuring it out, which is not okay. So, number one, do not track your periods electronically. My friend, I went to MIT, and I have friends that do forensic computer stuff, and if it was ever on your computer or in the cloud, and anything on an app is pretty much backed up in the cloud oftentimes, then they can find it unless you physically destroy your phone and your computer, and you never put it in the cloud anywhere.
Wow. It's just, as we were talking earlier, it's just unconscionable that the fact that we're even talking about Roe v. Wade being reversed, it never in my mind ever occurred to me that was something that would ever be in question. Insane.
Exactly. I mean, to me, America was built on freedom of religion.
Yeah.
And this is really a religious thing because even people in the same faith can differ on where they interpret their religion's stance on abortion, and Catholics for Choice is an example. If you speak to Catholics for Choice, their bottom line is It's your relationship with God. It's your conscience. And if your conscience says, I need to terminate this pregnancy because it's abnormal, it's going to blow up my uterus, and I can't have more babies, and I need to preserve my uterus so I can have more babies, then it's fine to have an abortion under that, tenet and that interpretation and that science. And so I always say, your body, your religion, my body, my religion. Mm-hmm. You have every right to try to convince me of your way of thing, but to put a law is just anti-American. Yeah. It's about equality, it's about freedom of religion, and it's just horrifying that they're turning back the clock, 50 years, but it took 50 years before that to even get this right, and it's treating anybody with a uterus as forced birthing vessel, and I'm not your forced birthing vessel. No. And it gives great power to rapists and, bad people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely just, like I said, I'm still struggling to wrap my mind around it, that we're just literally turning back history. We're going back in time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next tip, Plan C is not contraception. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So in medicine, our tongue-in-cheek is, Plan A is your regular birth control. So IUD, implant, shot, a pill, patch, ring. And then Plan B and other emergency contraception is if the condom pops, if, God forbid, you were sexually assaulted, or you didn't use your, ring, patch, pill for 3 days in a row, and you hadn't used your medication for 21 days before that consecutively, then you are at risk of pregnancy, and you can use Plan B generic or Ella, which is a prescription emergency contraception. And then Plan C is my friend, she started a website, plancpills.org. It's a nonprofit. Everybody should know about it. It's everything you need to know about medication abortion. And I didn't realize as a doctor, in 2020, 54% of abortions were done by medication, which is a pill, versus the normal, abortion when you see it in the movies is they push you out, they put in a suction, and then you wake up and you're done. Whereas medication abortion, some people feel is more natural, you're more in control because you choose when you want to take the medication, and it basically induces a really heavy period. And you can have some heavy period, for quite some time, and then not greater than a month, but it's definitely at least a week. And then it's your control, and it's very private. And in other countries, it's almost over the counter. So then you can just walk into a pharmacy and get the medication. But in the States, it's severely regulated, mainly for political reasons. And it's really important for people to know that it is safer than Tylenol, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely fascinating. What are some of the limitations of Plan B?
Yes, so at Pandia Health, we're always doing Pandia Health public service announcements. And one of the key things is, as everyone wants to make sure, let's prevent unplanned pregnancy to our best ability. So there's Plan A, then there's Plan B, and then there's Plan C. So Plan A, get your birth control together. But know that Plan B and its generics, it's awesome that we got it over the counter for anyone of any gender, of any age, throughout the United States. So that is a PSA. Know that. However, know also that Plan B has a body mass index limitation. So just pull out a calculator, punch in your height, your weight, check your BMI, because 60% of this country has a BMI of 26 or greater. And if your BMI is 26 or greater, Plan B and its generics are not going to work so well for you. And if your BMI hits 30, it's definitely not going to work well for you. And there was a researcher suggesting that you could double up the dose, but she actually finally published her research, and doubling up the dose doesn't work that well either. So at Pandia Health, we are about expert care, about expert doctors, and I call myself the goddess of emergency contraception because I'm always on top of what's the latest research, what's the latest stuff. Yeah. And so we recommend Ella, which is the prescription emergency contraception. And thank you, Obama, thank you, Biden. Yes. They passed the Affordable Care Act. If you have insurance, any FDA-approved birth control should be available with no copay, no deductible, a.k.a. free. So if you have insurance and a doctor that can write Ella ahead of time, I want everybody to go out, get a packet Ella, at least one per household or one per dorm or one per dorm floor, and have it just sitting there in case of an emergency.
That's
and
a
it can
really
be
good
healthy actually write in the prescription, please give the woman the one with the farthest expiration date. This is for future use, and know that it can just sit on the shelf for 2 years. If you don't have insurance, then it's roughly $40-$45. But totally worth it because it works better every single time point and up to a BMI of 35.
Oh, okay. That is good to know. Wow. That was really awesome. Now, what is the safest way for a woman to quit her period?
Yes. So right now, given that there's a tampon shortage, but also this is a way to be on birth control, not for birth control, but using it more as hormonal therapy. So one of the top reasons women miss school or work is bad, evil periods. Heavy, really painful periods. And every time I give a talk, there's just a woman, about 10% of the women will come up afterwards and go, it runs in my family, it's totally fine. And it's like, well, just because it runs in your family doesn't mean you have to suck it up. Please see a doctor. If you are missing school or work, please see a doctor. Because first-line treatment is ibuprofen, 600 milligrams, 3 times a day with food. If you take it without food, you'll get an ulcer. But if you take that 3 times a day, as soon as you get your period, or like you're getting your period tomorrow, then it will cut down the bleeding and the pain by 30%. And then, if you want, we can also put you on the pill patch ring. And on the pill patch ring, it's arbitrary how often you bleed on it, because it's just an artificial bleed induced by taking away the hormone. So you're on the hormone for 3 weeks, and then you either not take the pill for a week or take some placebo pills or some iron place holding pills, and the patch, you just don't wear the patch for a week. The ring, you don't have the ring in for a week. But any of those methods, you can skip that week and have a bleed every 3 months, every 6 months, or never. And it's totally fine. It decreases your risk of ovarian, endometrial, colorectal cancer by not bleeding every single month. And it also decreases how much you're adding to landfill. And if you want more information, go to pandiahealth.com/periods optional. At the bottom is my TEDx talk where I go over the science and the safety of not having to bleed every single month. But it's also a way to get birth control to young women who want, quote, birth control, but not for birth control, but for hormonal treatment. An example I give as an Asian American tiger mom in Silicon Valley is your daughter going to do better on the SAT bleeding or not bleeding? Because my daughters will not be bleeding by their choice.
Right.
Certainly if you want to bleed and you feel that when you bleed you do better on exams, go forth. But I'm thinking probably not.
Yes. Definitely good points. Good points. Now, the last tip that you have involves your doctor.
Yes. So my phrase is, what your doctor doesn't know can end you up pregnant with bad bones or zits and weight gain. And so the thing is, you have to realize, I've always revered all our physicians, and we absolutely should. But know that somebody who's in private practice doesn't have like medical students, residents, and fellows going, hey, Dr. Yen, why are you doing it that way? The latest paper says this, And then also a company that's run by an academic physician, such as Pandia Health. We are the only women-founded, women-led, the only doctor-led, and the only academic doctor-led company in the birth control delivery space. We know the latest and greatest. I'm always keeping up on, what does this research show in terms, can we double up on Plan B? How do we decrease women's side effects? And as a woman of color, I realized what I was taught at UCSF and at Stanford works great for a Caucasian female that wants to bleed every single month. But for an Asian or a black woman, doesn't work so well. So then I looked at the different progesterones and know that there's 40 different birth control pills out there, 8 different or 9 different progesterones, and that we can bump that level up or down, and that each progesterone has its own different side effects and may work better in certain races as a proxy for genetics. And so looking at that, we found a better birth control pill to start people on. And we found that 85% of people are doing great on that birth control with no side effects, any, compared to 55% on your general, doctor writing birth control. 45% of women will stop the pill because they have side effects. And so it's really important to pick a doctor that not only, you're already picking an OB-GYN sometimes because they're specialists, but even the OB-GYN has so much stuff, delivering babies, they're doing postpartum, they're doing pap smears, but all we do at Pandia Health for the past 6 years is birth control. And we're studying it, and we're making sure that it's good. Also, as an adolescent medicine specialist, I care about people's bones. And so we believe at Stanford Pediatric Adolescent Gynecology, Stanford Pediatric Endocrinology, Stanford Adolescent Medicine, that anybody who's under 30 years old should be on at least 30 micrograms of estrogen. So whenever I give this talk, everybody grabs their birth control pill, looks how many micrograms of estrogen. And if you're under 30, go back to your doctor and say, Dr. Sophia Yen, Stanford Adolescent Medicine, said that I should be on at least 30 micrograms of estrogen, unless there's a contraindication, of course. Right. But to protect my bone until you're 30. And then again, if they give you the drug that they were all taught at their school, may give you this, may give you munchies. But in general, any birth control pill should make your skin better and should not make you gain weight. General research, if you have 50 women on the birth control pill, 50 women not on the birth control pill, the women on the birth control pill average 1 pound less. Not 1 pound a week, not 1 pound a month, just 1 pound ever less. Because they don't bloat up and down.
Right.
Because those that are not on birth control are bloated up, bloated down, bloated up, bloated down. And the ones on the pill patch ring don't have to go through that. But if you're having any side effects on your birth control, if you're new, give it, a month or two for your body, at least 2 months for your body to get used to it. But if you're having zits, munchies, weight gain, talk to your doctor, and they should know that there are 8 different progesterones, and they can manipulate that. And if they don't, come to Pandia Health.
Sounds like a plan. Dr. Yen, thank you so much for coming through today. Definitely appreciate
Absolutely.
you. And let everyone know, if they need to get some more information on you and your whole team, what's the best way to get in contact with you guys?
Yes. So I'm so proud that Pandia Health is everywhere on the internet. So check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have all the information you could possibly want on the pill, patch, ring, emergency contraception. And then for the topic of the day, make sure everybody knows about PlanCpills.org, the National Abortion Federation. They have a hotline you can call if you have any question about abortion. The National Network of Abortion Funds. You can either apply. Each state has a fund if you need money or help or assistance, or you could donate if you have that ability. And then, again, we'd love you all to follow Pandia Health and share us with everybody you know, and make sure everybody has some emergency contraception on hand. Ella is better than Plan B, and it's generic. And then a radical idea would be to have some medication abortion on hand.
Sounds like a plan. Dr. Yen, thank you so much again. Definitely appreciate you. You are, of course, welcome back on the show whenever you've got a new announcement. I know there's going to be stuff coming up in the next couple of months. I would love to have you back and for us to, really put out some good information and some good vibrations for people just so that they're informed. They know what is out there.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
Thank you. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and all your continued support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face. You tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.